Welcome to Daily Dose Radio, a 5-minute devotional podcast studying the Psalms verse by verse. Broadcast from the ever-beautiful Sharonville, Ohio, on the sunny side of Cincinnati. Hey there, friends. Welcome back to Daily Dose Radio. This is your home for farm-to-table Bible study that is fresh and delicious. Today we're looking at verses 39 through 43 in Psalm 106. Yesterday we ended that section of 33 through 38, 34 through 38. And we were talking about the great sin of Israel, which was the sacrificing of their sons and daughters. They polluted the land with blood. And then in 39 we conclude that section of sin. Thus they were defiled with their own works and went a-whoring with their own inventions. Notice they have left completely the worship of God. They're defiled and they've gone whoring after something else. So they're out of the way completely. And of course, the pinnacle sin, the great sin here is that they have sacrificed their own children to these devils. Now, what's the result? Because remember, we've been in this sin and result cycle all the way through 106. We come to 34 through 38. We have this big section that talks about how they have gone away from the Lord. In just 3 verses, 34, 35, 36, we had the book of Judges sort of summarized for us. And then 37, 38, we have 1 Kings 11, 2 Kings 23, telling us about the pinnacle sin of killing their children. That's identified. We come to 40 through 43, and we're going to have the result, which is the final result. This is the final thing God's done with them, and He's going to send them off. And so let me read for you 40 through 43. Therefore was the wrath of the Lord kindled against His people, insomuch that He abhorred His own inheritance, and He gave them into the hand of the heathen, and they that hated them ruled over them. Their enemies also oppressed them. They were brought into subjection under their hand. Many times did He deliver them, but they provoked Him with their counsel, and were brought low for their iniquity. So in 40, 41, and 42, we have the exile in Babylon, the scattering of the people. First, it was the northern kingdom, Israel. They go off into Assyria. And then it's the southern kingdom's turn, Judah, and they go off into Babylon. But by the time the southern kingdom goes off into Babylon, Babylon has overtaken Assyria. And so now all of Israel is gathered under one roof. They're gathered under the roof of the Babylonians. Now they're scattered throughout the land of the Babylonians, but they're there. And so they're going to be there until such a time as the Lord, by His mercy, calls them out. And He's going to do that, but we haven't seen that yet. Verse 43 is how would we call this? It's a summary, in a sense, of all that God has done. It's His mercy, it's their sin, and His judgment. Many times did He deliver them, even though they sinned against Him. But they provoked Him with their counsel. And so we have this over and over again. We have the sinning, we have the judgment, we have the mercy, we have the sinning, we have the judgment, we have the mercy. And then that last statement, and were brought low for their iniquity. There's the judgment of God upon sin. So, and I think this is a conclusion to verses 6 and 7, which we have there at the very beginning of the psalm. Remember that opening prayer that he prays? I think this is a conclusion to that. Our fathers have sinned, and they forgot, and they didn't remember, and all that. And here it is. This sort of sums up for us why the psalmist in the first part of 106 is repenting for his and his father's sins. God shows mercy, yet we sin. He has to judge us because of that sin. Now, tomorrow we're going to look at verses 44 through 48, and this is the big payoff. This is where God's mercy shows up. So I hope you'll join me then on Daily Dose Radio. Thanks for listening to Daily Dose Radio. I'm David Smith. The music today has been performed by the Bluegrass Experiment. Thanks again for listening. I'll see you next time on Daily Dose Radio.